Get a grip, then get a chip. Won't even trip. Though my cup was running over, I took only a sip. Stay hippin', then I'm hopping, I'm dropping. It won't be flopping, no shock. That whatever I'm selling, you will be copping. He was the strongest, though he was the one that cried. And he chose to kill his brother because he was from that side. And why? He chose this son because this one had pride. And instead of the narrow road, he chose the one that's wide. Sometimes the one that won was the one that tried. And the one who pulled the gun was the one that died. Looking good, a good look is the one that's fine. If I had to pick, fly would be the one that's mine. G-O-D, in the place to be. Attendee, Hard Knocks University. And since kindergarten, they've been hiding the knowledge. Homeboy is self-taught, never went to college. I'm brown skinned, I'm from Pelon. Rainy alarm, but I remain cool and calm. Reading Psalm, fire like napalm bomb.
We are in the information age on Do You Know Your Value page. It's the content curator with force like Darth Vader. Back on the track with the facts and all that. One path is the way that I'm taking, getting closer to God in a tight situation as we proceed to give you what you need. And continuing from the point where we left off, we're at the word refusal. And we'll begin now. Refusal is the act of one who has, by law, a right and power of having or doing something of advantage and declines it. A refusal implies the positive denial of an application or command, or at least evidential determination not to comply. Power, authority to do any act which the grantor, you, might himself lawfully perform. The following is taken from In Search of Liberty in America, one of Byron's books. Why do officers of government hold positions called trust or profit? Look at some of the constitutions to find the phrase. References to the Constitution for the United States of America are provided below. Any office of honor, trust, or profit under the United States, Article 1, Section 3. Any office of honor, trust, or profit under the United States, Article 1, Section 9. Any senator or representative or person holding an office of trust or profit under the United States, Article 2, Section 1. Any office or public trust under the United States, Article 4, Clause 3. Suffice to say, trillions of dollars in assets are being held in these trusts in America today. You can verify this if you study the comprehensive annual financial reports that each corporate entity within the United States empire is required to have. The trust transfers possession of trust assets to another. The trustee can make rules and regulations for the use of the trust property and also rules for the conduct of those persons accepting protection and receiving property. Trust property may remain in the so-called public forum held directly by the trust or its partners or corporations, or may be conveyed into the private domain. It is effectively trust property, public and private, until it is taken out of the protection of trust. Rules of the game. Number 1, the fiction and real cannot mix. The public and the private cannot mix. You cannot create a public debt. That is against the law. A creditor can issue a bond, evidence of a public debt, and use the bond to discharge other public debts. You cannot use the public Federal Reserve routing numbers on the private credit instruments you issue. Those routing numbers are public. Your credit instruments use your private routing number, EIN with the closed account number. You are a private banker. The closed account number was accepted and put on the UCC-1. Your acceptance of the account number takes it to the private side for adjustment and set off. You gave notice to John Snow or his predecessor that you had accepted the account as collateral. Your secure party collateral rights are private. You are a secure party on the private side even without filing the UCC-1. The UCC-1 is to give notice on the public side of your collateral rights. That is why you can use the account for adjustment and set off of public debts. There is no money on the private side. Debt is used on the public side to discharge other public debts. There is no money on the public side either, but debt is accepted as money. The debts that are owed to you by the public can be used to discharge public debts. A debt is a liability to the debtor and an asset, a bond, each time you use your credit. You can bond your bill of exchange or use a bond. Either way, it is a bond, evidence of a public debt owed to you that discharges the public debt. If the state cannot file a claim against you because it is a fictitious entity and you are a real man, then it must file a claim against a straw man to get to you. What is it trying to get? Does it want your body in jail, the money in your bank account, your house, your business? The answer is no. It wants your credit. It already has the rest of it because everything is either registered or found on registered property. The state does not want the things that are held in the name of the straw man, but has no compunction against taking those things if you dishonor it in any way. All those things except your body belong to the straw man, which is an officer, agent, or employee of the U.S. or one of its states. They do not belong to you. The money, FRNs, belongs to the Federal Reserve notes, belongs to the Federal Reserve because it is the entity that created it. The straw man just gets to use it as long as it follows the Federal Reserve rules. The title to real property associated with your house is held by the straw man. The business license for your business was issued to the straw man. The registration for the car names the straw man as the owner. The driver's license was issued to the straw man. None of those assets belong to you. They are all pieces of paper that belong to the straw man unless it fails to follow the rules. Presentment has a complaint, a moving party. A presentment is a complaint by a moving party. What is it trying to move? What is its complaint? It is usually using a statute as the grounds for the complaint. If the public and private can't mix, the complaint must be against the public straw man, not you. Why would the state care if a piece of paper violated a fictitious law? What is the motivation? The state is trying to move you to let it use your credit. If you refuse, the state can move the court to grant the use from your dishonor. Does the state really have a complaint, or is it just asking for your help? Maybe the complaint is that it's out of money. There is no money. None on the private side, gold and silver, none on the public side except your credit. What does the office manager do when it needs more money for paper clips? It requisitions the guy on the top floor for money to buy more paper clips. Do the bosses say no way? Of course not. That would be counterproductive to the purpose of the business. Think of the state as your business. You need to be sure there are enough paper clips or the business may fail. Why would you refuse to honor the requisition? Why would you argue about whether or not the requisition form was filled out properly? Why would you deny you are the proper party to fulfill the requisition? Why would you ignore the requisition? Why would you get mad and start charging the messenger with fraud? If you ignore the requisitions and spend all your boss's money trying to fulfill the requisition, trying not to fulfill the requisitions, the business will fail. Where would that leave you? Your business is down the tubes. You might be in jail for breach of contract. Your property has been taken by the corporate attorneys. Your money is gone. All the people who depend on your business have to use other sources of your products and services. You are a very irresponsible businessman. If you had just signed the requisition, you would still be on the top floor. Instead, the trust assets are gone and you are making license plates. The state has no substance. It has no money. It has no inherent right to anything except what it has created, which is the straw man. It has a very important function. It has been charged with providing for the means by which you can go into grocery stores, gas stations, libraries, shopping malls, airports, car dealerships, and marts. It does not get. It needs to get money from somewhere. It cannot continue to provide the infrastructure you find so convenient. The only source it has is taxes. License, permit, and registration fees are a source of revenue for the state. But that is not sufficient for the giant octopus feeding machine we have grown to love and depend on. It needs to feed off your credit. And if you don't voluntarily let the state use it, the state will use your dishonor to take it. If you have filed a claim against the straw man, the state doesn't even control that anymore. If you have named the Secretary of State as a secure party, it has additional expenses as trustee of the property held in the name of the straw man. The situation is getting worse for the state. Where will it get the money it needs to continue supplying all the services you expect from it? It has to go to you and ask for your credit. Have you ever had to ask your dad for financial help after you left his house or out on your own? It is embarrassing. The state does not want to just ask if it can use your credit. You have to find creative ways to ask for it, get it, and save face in the process. The trick is for the state to ask for your help without the unenlightened person, U.S. citizens, being able to see it. The state must have your credit, and it's going to get it one way or the other. It's going to get it the easy way or the hard way. It's all up to you. So the thing that the state can take is your body and other substance in your possession, unless you voluntarily authorize the state to use it. You always have a choice to retain possession of your substance or let the state take possession of it. Remember, possession is 9/10 of the law. What is the other 1/10 then? Honor. Rule number 2, stay in honor at all costs. Your mission, should you decide to accept it, is to honor the state when it asks you in its aggressive way to let it use your credit exemption. The state is raising you up as a creditor every time it gives you a presentment. It is your choice. You can honor the state by accepting its presentment and issuing an authorization voluntarily for it to get enough of your credit to equal the value of its presentment, dollar for dollar, or you can voluntarily dishonor the state by refusing, arguing, making it prove its claim, or defending a straw man pretending the state has no right to make its claim. Wow, that is a hard choice. You can voluntarily authorize the state's use of your exemption, or you can voluntarily dishonor the state, at which time it will use your dishonor to take property from a straw man or take your body and collect rent while you sit in jail. Gee, what should I do? What should I do? There's an easy way and a hard way. The choice is always yours. The state is only following your lead. If you argue and defend, it gets to use your exemption and maybe take some of your possessions. Besides, if you accept and authorize the state to use your exemption, it is required to accept it. What do you have to lose? Is your exemption limited? Can it be depleted? No. What difference does it make if the state gets to use your exemption? The difference is the grocery stores and Walmart stay open, the fire department responds to fire calls, the garbage truck pick up the garbage, and the streets are repaired. When you understand how to stay in honor, it is a win-win situation. If if you do not know how to stay in honor, it might be a win-lose situation with you losing. The state will get what it wants either way. Rule number 3: there is no money. What do you use to pay bills? If there's no money, what does the state use to pay its bills? Do you really have any bills? Whose name is on the contract with the electric company, the mortgage, the credit card, or the student loan? It isn't your name, it's the straw man's name. The Constitution says, no state shall make anything but gold or silver coin attendant in payment of debts. Well, there it is, a prohibition against the states. Does it say the United States or its agents can't use something other than gold or silver for payment of debts? No, since there's no gold or silver coin in circulation in the United States, and all the businesses you have grown to love are in the United States, it's a good thing the United States has created a straw man for you to control and Federal Reserve notes for it to use like you would use money if you had some. The straw man is able to pay all his bills with Federal Reserve notes. You can't, but the straw man can. Isn't it neat that you control a straw man person? The trouble is the straw man can't get a real title to anything with Federal Reserve notes. You can get possession of the substance, but you only get to retain possession as long as you stay in honor. The straw man stays in equity honor, and you fulfill your fiduciary duties as a presumed trustee. If you choose to go into dishonor, you voluntarily give up possession of whatever property the state wants to take to get the credits it needs to keep its business ventures going. Nothing personal, just business. Rule number 5: do not participate in public plays. When the state invites the straw man to participate in one of its revenue events, you have options. The presumption is that you will volunteer to represent the accused straw man. They are pretty sure you will do that because you have always done this before. Think of the event as a play. The play has actors with scripts. Each actor knows the plots, his lines, and the outcome. Their play has been practiced over and over in every county in every state. The outcome is almost always the same. A man, not one of the scheduled actors, crashes into their party and carries out the plot. Without the man, the whole plot changes. The outcome changes. They need the man to get the same ending as they always have before. When the man does not participate in their play, there's confusion and chaos. The planned script does not work without the man. The usual scenario includes the man volunteering to represent the accused straw man as a trustee. Each time a straw man is charged, a new trust is created. It is even possible that each time the straw man's name is spelled in a slightly different way in a complaint and presentment, a different trust is created. There might be 2 or 4 different trusts referenced in the same presentment. Each trust is going to produce income for the plaintiff if the script is followed as planned. It all has to do with trust. We're going to stop right here and come back. It's about 15 minutes in. But like I said, I don't want to make these long. I just want to make them precise. And once again, if you're not familiar with certain words, you got to go and check the definition of words. You want to go to the law dictionary, preferably, and get the legal meaning of the words in the terms, because they don't always have the same meaning as the formal definition. So the definition that's used like by everybody else, it might not be the same. And actually, I'm going to show you guys something like I'm going to show you guys something like that. Like as far as the word, let's say the word, yeah, let's go with the word person. Let me just use this real quick as an example, the word person. So, okay, and like what we do all the time, we expand our definition. We don't just go for basic definitions of words. We have to do an expand search. So here we go. And the origin is Latin or Old French, and it says an actor's mask, a character in a play, persona, persona, person, persona. Person means corporation. Let's actually do a legal definition of person. Let's do that. Yeah, let's go for the legal definition of person. Yeah, legal definition of person includes both natural persons, living humans, and legal persons, entities. In a legal context, a person is able to act on their own behalf and has legal rights and liabilities. Here are some examples of legal persons. So a person will be a corporation, partnership, association, cooperatives, limited liability company, trust joint ventures. Government is a person, and political subdivisions. So understand words might not mean, or they might have different meanings than what's used in common parlance. So make sure you check and go look up words. That's going to help you with your comprehension and your understanding. Peace and blessings. Don't you dare go testing. Later.